In fact, every time I filed, if it felt like this, some really nice hand-filed teeth. I don't think I've ever enjoyed filing so much before. Well, it helps that I've got 3 brand new files here. When do you ever do that, right? This is just a pleasure to run through the tooth here. Welcome to the Okie Woodsman channel. My name is Joe, and I've had a bunch of people ask me how I liked the Oregon files when I brought them up in a previous video. I recently used my friend's 372X torque. The chain was dull. I'm going to give it a shot with these Oregon files to see how I like them. I did want to get this saw really nice and pristine, but we've got some bad weather coming and I am racing the clock. What I figured I can do is at least put an edge on his, let's see here, I think this is an Oregon chain right here. And I can go ahead and put some cutters on it and at least give it back to him. Not necessarily clean, much cleaner. It is cleaner than it was, but at least with a sharp chain. Jason at Raftery is a real good friend of mine. I've learned a lot from him. He has far more experience milling and all of that, but he is a busy man, and I want to get this ready for him to go when he's able to get back to work. And on top of it, we've got a lot of weather coming, so you never know when you're going to need a saw. I'm kind of excited to just do a standard hand file on this. It makes a huge difference when you're using new files. When you buy bulk files from saw suppliers, they come plastic wrapped like this. I purchased 6 round files from them. These are Oregon, and they're like packaged like that. I also purchased some Oregon flat files. That's how those came. They did send me these cool little kits that they sell. I'll put links down to this stuff down in the description. Lots of people are taking advantage of the 10% off Husky and Echo saws. But this is what we're going to use here. I'm not going to open those up because I want the handles out of this kit. They do have Echo files, but they're not listed currently on the site. They wanted to know what my thought was on them after I've used them. Well, I have used them, and I like Echo files. They're German-made files. There is a brand new Oregon setup right here, and let's get started. New files are very nice to have. I'm going to actually, this might make some of you get frustrated, but I also know some of you do it. Yeah, let me just fix this up here. I'll file this tooth, and then I've got a brand new furred file here that I also got from saw suppliers, and I'll compare the bite on it. And I believe that the furred ones are the same as steel. I can tell you right now, I think I prefer brand new, the feeling of the furred, a little bit more. There's going to be people that are saying you're taking too many strokes. This chain was rocked. It's toast. Actually, go like this. That left hand, sometimes I get off a little bit, and I find that I can get back by filing from this direction. I am starting on my offhand because that is a good tip, that if you struggle with filing one side first, start with the side that's your least favorite. I came to a realization that it was okay to file this way when I saw people hand square filing. And I realized that, you know what, it doesn't matter on the filing if you're going from this way or this way. I feel like I can be more accurate filing from the other direction. These furred files just feel better. They actually do. I like them better. And if this is the same as steel, let me know in the comment section if that's the case. These just have they just feel like more of a positive filing on them, and that just feels good. Oh man, I feel like every contact is taking material off. It's just nice. Boy, this tooth is bad. I'll just do it with this one here. This is how I'm getting the best hand file I can do currently, is with filing like this and then going in there and kind of touching up from this side here. Man, this tooth is bad. But we're bringing it back and we're getting every bit of shine off that corner. That's perfect. All right. We are almost all the way around. I'm so excited to get to the other side of the chain, the left-hand cutters, because I really don't prefer cutting this side. I'm curious, once I'm in my dominant stroke or dominant hand, I'm wondering if I'm going to feel anything different. I've got to correct the angle on that after I did that. There it is. Alright, so there we are. I'm going to try to get a slightly different camera angle now. Here's the Ferd file, made in Germany. You can see it. It's got the Ferd logo on there. And we got the Oregon file. I'm going to start with the Oregon. I like filing this way, like I said, much better. Okay, so this takes material, but I feel, like I said, I really do believe. Let's see here. I'm going to give it more shot here. That burr is coming off. The tooth is still ragged across the top plate. Okay. Now let's try the Ferd file. Oh my gosh. The feel feels so good. Oh. Unless there's a difference between files, consistency and so forth, I just feel like it's hands down. It's like this is really grabby and gritty. A little bit more. Oh, I can just hear the commenters now. You're not going to have any tooth left. Well, I'll tell you what stops wasting teeth, and that's not hitting dirt or rocks or metal. But you know what? Part of running a saw is that happens. Yeah. The feel. Oh my gosh. The feel of that. Of this Ferd. The Germans. Dude. Yeah, this just feels like I'm dragging like a piece of 20 grit sandpaper through there. Another one feels like 150, but it also files just fine. These will work. There's no doubt about it. If you're not super sensitive to feel, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Now, of course, I'm not going to be able to tell if the file dulls like super bad in just this 132-inch chain, especially alternating between files. I am filing this probably at a different angle than Jason normally cuts with, but I'm sure he'll appreciate not having to sharpen the chain before his next use. I really can't get over. It's so funny how many people are so adamant against that steel 2-in-1 or the furred 2-in-1 setup. It's just another tool in the toolbox. I will say this, I don't prefer how grabby it is while I'm using the 404 setup with the 7/32 file, because that's what I have. But I have had numerous people write me and tell me feedback saying they love it. So if you like a grabbier chain, that furred 2-in-1 with the 7/32 files, maybe for you. You might be wondering why I'm continuing to go. It's because the top plate wasn't straight across. It still had a divot. Alright, let's see what happens here on this one. So this is the furred. I want more of these furred files. I really do. I can tell you right now that if I didn't have anything but these furred files, I'd be a happy man. In fact, every time I filed, if it felt like this, this is just a pleasure to run through the tooth here. I've never actually just like compared them side by side. In fact, I've got one more steel file. I think it's a steel file. This has some time on it. Yes, this is a steel file. Let me see if it feels similar. I do have time, like I said. This is feeling a little bit more like the Oregon. I don't know what it would feel like if it were new. I do like these plastic Forester handles. I like the wooden ones. There's certainly, the wood's nice, but that plastic Forester one has a little bit more, I don't know, maybe it's just because it's what I'm used to. Alright. This is definitely cutting better than that used steel file. That thing's probably filed 3 or 4 chains. So a lot of times that's all you're going to get and have them be super effective and nice to use. After using that worn file, this Oregon feels lovely. Back to the furred. Oh. You know, if after you pick this one up, you can tell the difference, but after you file for a little bit, the Oregon one feels just fine. But just straight up new, I'm ready to call it. Now, of course, is there a consistency issue between files? Could another furred not feel good, and could another Oregon feel better? While I'm at it, I might throw one of those Echo files in and just compare it real quick, because it's a German-made file, if I recall correctly. That's what I'll do. It's the opportunity. Here's the Echo files. I've used them before, but I've never used them side by side. So it'll be really curious to see, because I'm feeling right now what they're like. There it is right there. See that Echo? I've always seen Germany on them before. This one doesn't show it. Well, let's see what it feels like. I want to say I saw Germany before. Ooh. Echo file again. I didn't think I'd like these handles, but I'm actually digging the handle. It's fine. Is this a lot like the Ferd file? Nope, it's a different setup. Okay. I don't know who makes these Echo files, but it feels good. Man, I don't remember where they say they're made. Unless they've changed something. This is files that I've had in the past, and they clearly say made in Germany. I wonder if Ferd makes these as well. I actually kind of like the handle shape on this Echo file. Now, it behooves you, or it doesn't fit to want to roll the file on your palm. Now, you don't need to do that necessarily, but it's something that I've always done. I think it's because I saw guys that knew what they were doing online doing it that way. I'm going to start the next tooth with the steel file, or I'm sorry, the Ferd file, and see if I can tell a difference. I feel like this Ferd is smoother than that one. So either another company's making it, or maybe it's a different style cut in the file itself. So let's start this next tooth. Oh my gosh, smooth. The Oregon is the least smooth. It just wants to catch and bite. It is filing though, and I think they are a little less money. And they're not, these ones are not Chinese made. I keep seeing in stores Oregon branded files in like big box stores are often made in China. So just because it says Oregon on it, pay attention. Dare I say, am I regretting that I'm going to be done with this chain soon? I don't think I've ever enjoyed filing so much before. Well, it helps that I've got 3 brand new files here. When do you ever do that, right? I'm never the type of person to not use something up completely and then start another new one in between. This almost hurts my soul, but at the same time, I think this was very educational to use them side by side. Again, all these files and products are available at sawsuppliers.com. I will post some links down in there. I don't know if they carry these Echo ones. I can tell you that in the past, the Echo files have been a bargain for sure. Okay, got the Ferd file. Yeah, it's just like butter, man. But Saw Suppliers does have these Ferd files. They have them in singles, doubles, triples, and I think they sell them by 6 and by a dozen and maybe more. So definitely check those out. I will tell you this, the Ferd flat file is incredible to use. The other day I took the Rakers down on a chain. I'm just going to finish up with this Ferd, man. No, I'll probably go back to the Echo. Just a second. Disregard everything I said. This feels like it's clogged or something. Yeah, the best way I could describe it is that Oregon file feels like maybe some of the knurling in the cut file. It feels like maybe some of it's actually a little high or something. And so it feels like it's maybe skating across the surface. We've got some gorgeous teeth right there. Some really nice hand-filed teeth. I'll just go through and hit the Rakers. I'm going to put it on hardwood setting, given that this is a stock 372 X-Torque. I don't want to have these be too aggressive. I think Jason's more of a, I'll take a swipe off the Raker kind of guy. than using a gauge as well, if I recall correctly. So if he wants it to cut more aggressively, he will just simply take a, he'll just take a swipe right off the raker. Regardless, I would say that out of the flat files I've used and the round files I've used, the furred feels fantastic. You know, especially right beside the others. The Echo certainly was pretty darn close to the furred. It's a German file as well, but it did not feel the same. Oh my gosh. It's so nice to have a file that just wants to cut like that. It's incredible. Remember to check your rakers on brand new chains. There's consistency issues, and I learned that. I've probably seen somebody mention it and probably disregarded it, but when Mitch Zanobi made that video, and I have a video on it too, when he did that, that was a game changer for me. I will be on new chains, always hitting my rakers, setting them to the appropriate depth of cut. I'm going to finish this up, but everyone down below, share what your thoughts are. I really appreciate you being here. This is a little bit of a different kind of video for me. Man, we're growing fast. We hit 17,000 just yesterday, and we're at 17,186 on there, if that's updating. And it's incredible. Everyone, thank you so much. Boy, it's hard to file and talk to the camera at once, I'll tell you that. We'll see you on the next one.